Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
What's up everybody? We are here at the start of season 8 of Friends, episodes 1 and 2. I can't believe we've actually made it this far.
I know. It's wild. We have been talking about Friends for it's almost been a year now.
It's almost been a year.
Yeah, and it's great. It's actually, I know at one point we had mapped out how long we were going to be taking to get through the Friends portion of our podcast. And I know it in the very beginning, for those of you who have been with us this whole time, thank you, first of all.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and second of all, you'll remember that we first were rolling out like 8 episodes at a time, and at that speed, I mean, we would have been probably done at this point.
We would have been done by Christmas. Like,
yeah, yes.
But it was also like both you and I felt like, we weren't really getting into it enough, and people that, really want to listen to a Friends podcast kind of want to get into all the little different things and not skip over the stuff. So we switched it up, and we've kind of settled into a groove here.
Yeah. So at this pace, I mean, we still will be. We have a few more seasons to go, and I'm sure when we're done talking about the episodes, we will continue talking about Friends in some capacity for sure. And even when we transition into completely different shows, the references to Friends are inevitable. So they will be
constant.
Yeah,
it just will.
And so definitely just looking forward to how these next few seasons are going to roll out. And I have to say, though, these first 2 episodes of this season, they're fine, but they're not my favorites. I feel like because we've gone through a lot of highs with the group, right? And now we're kind of settling into this new version of Friends is sort of how I see it in my mind, because we had all this tension with Ross and Rachel, and now we had all of this buildup with Chandler and Monica, and now they're married. And, maybe that's why they worked in this whole plot line with Monica where she's depressed that they're married. And I don't know if that's almost making fun of maybe not making fun of the viewer, but relating to the viewer on a certain level.
I think there is something to that, where there's so much hype and so much excitement around people's weddings sometimes that when it's over, it's like, oh, now what? And there is no, like, now you're married. That's what, like, and that's the thing. Like, you've built up everything to this big moment. And I think Monica had the moment, and now it's over. And it's kind of like nobody talks about that side of the fallout, but it definitely feels like a transition moment here, where now we are watching a married Monica and Chandler, and we're watching a pregnant Rachel, and we're kind of moving away from like that young 20s vibe into the more adulthood version of these Friends characters, I feel like.
Yes, absolutely. I can understand, maybe the viewer is understanding with Joey as well. I know I am, where he's like having a hard time with the change.
Joey represents a lot of the people out there who do not like change, and nobody likes change, as Ross would say. But listen, we have a whole lot more episodes of Friends to go. We appreciate all of you guys who have stayed with us, and if you have stayed with us and you haven't found your way to the ratings yet, please drop a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or if you want to find us on Patreon, we'd really appreciate that. So let's just jump back into how we left off the end of season 7.
Yeah, and I really didn't have a huge description for the last 2 episodes. It's basically Monica and Chandler get married. And before the episode ends, we find out that Rachel is secretly pregnant. And as we talked about last week, it wasn't so much of a season cliffhanger because you know what's happening. The cliffhanger is that you don't know who the dad is, which, I mean, that is significant, but it's not the same level of cliffhanger that we've experienced in other seasons. There wasn't quite as much tension there, but maybe that's also on a rewatch. I know even in these episodes, I think that was part of it for me, is the rewatch value wasn't quite as high because, listen, we know it's Ross. And that in the first watch, I'm sure that obviously I was feeling quite different about that, and enjoyed it maybe a little bit more. I think maybe a secret reveal like that, it didn't for me land the same on a rewatch. I don't know how you feel about that, Eric.
Well, the reveal that we get in the second episode is definitely different. I mean, I still like that moment quite a bit. I still feel like it is a fun moment to have that kind of confirms it, because you get the gang knowing who it is. Most of the gang knowing. Without Rachel.
Everyone except Ross, of course.
Without Rachel knowing that they know.
That and
without Ross knowing that anybody knows anything, including him. And
I feel like Ross is always the last to find out every single secret.
No, Phoebe's always the last to find out. That's what she said to Joey until Joey was the last to find out. But that being said, there is definitely, I do really enjoy that moment, and I really like the way they laid it out. And we'll get to that as we get to the second episode. But I do think, like I was saying last week, this is not a cliffhanger, right? We know that Rachel is pregnant. And then the cliffhanger is who's the father. And Rachel does not really strike us as someone who's out and about dating a million guys. We have not seen that. So it feels like there's only so many possible options. But that being said...
we learned a lot because we didn't know about the whole mystery guy, as Joey says, showing up at the apartment.
That guy? Yeah, there was a mystery guy. Anyway, we are now going to talk about episode 1 of season 8, which is the one after I do. And in this episode, there are really 4 separate storylines. Obviously, as we've already been talking about, there is the Hey, Rachel's pregnant storyline, where we get the reveal that it's not Monica, it is in fact Rachel. And we have Ross meeting Mona for the first time. We have Joey attempting to impress a director. And we have Chandler, who has apparently been taking dancing lessons. But as he approaches the dance floor, his new tux shoes are so slick that he can't barely stand in them. And then, of course, he tests him out in the hallway on the carpet, and no one will ever know, or the world will never know, I guess is the way he says it.
Yes.
You know, this breakdown, the fact that we've got 4 separate things going on, I think makes sense for a wedding. Because there's so many other people involved at the wedding that it's very easy to put all of the characters with other people. And this is how you can get Joey talking to this director, talking with Chandler's mom. You get Ross meeting Mona and all the kids for the first time.
Wedding chaos.
There's just people all over the place. And kind of amid that chaos is the Monica, Phoebe, and Rachel trying to piece together the pregnancy of it all. And so I guess we'll start. I don't know where you want to start. We're going to start with Chandler?
Let's talk about Chandler. And Eric, the first thing that I also picked up on with this storyline is their introduction as Mr. and Mrs. Bing, because we talked about this before too, that with the whole Monica leaving that message on their answering machine because that is what made Chandler freak out and lose it before the wedding. And like here we are again with them being introduced as Mr. and Mrs. Bing, and they don't end up becoming Mr. and Mrs. Bing, so it's just strange. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just to make it easier to announce them at the wedding.
I think
I don't know.
I do think it's part of that. I don't think. I mean, listen, you could do a number of different things. Everybody does whatever they want to do.
Yes.
But I think unless instructed otherwise, at the wedding, there would be an assumption that it would be Mr. and Mrs. whatever. And that would be
Monica is just that person that's so detail oriented though. So you would think that out of anyone, like she would have had that decided and she would have had that like rolled out and like spelled out to whoever was announcing them. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to remember when exactly they make that decision to not be the Bings. Is it right after this?
It's not an immediate decision. It is something that's later when like Chandler finally like discovers at the coffee shop that she never actually filled out the paperwork because
that's
like
right. It's not for another few episodes.
No, because like listen, you get married and they'll introduce you as the Bings, and then you have to like go down and like fill out paperwork and get all the official name change.
Well, do the actual license, but you usually have that in place before the wedding. I don't know.
You do the last. You can do the last name afterwards.
Yeah,
because the license
you can, but
the license can still say like your maiden name on it.
Well, it does, but then it has to say what your name is going to be. So you have to make that decision on the license.
Well, they didn't.
Hey, we're getting into the nitty gritty here on how this rolled out. Unless they just didn't have their license worked out yet. I don't know, because you can obviously have the wedding ceremony at any time and just work the license out later. So
no, they didn't do that. Monica would never do that.
Well, I think she did.
I don't think she did. I think she just circumvented the whole system because she's Monica.
People need to weigh in here. What did Monica do?
But okay, let's talk. I mean, listen, Chandler, do we have anything really to say about Chandler not dancing?
So, okay, I feel like they just needed to give poor Chandler something to do in this episode. It seems really strange. I don't know. The slippery shoes. I appreciated. I thought it was actually very sweet that he went out of his way to take dancing lessons, which came completely unexpected, I think, to most of us. But then he could never showcase his skills. Like, a part of me wanted to say, Chandler, just take off your shoes. Go with your socks and like just dance around. I don't know. It seems very strange to let the dancing shoes get in his way. Tried to switch with Joey, but we learned Joey has very tiny feet.
We did learn that. We did learn that Joey apparently wears a size 7. But the rest of him is good. I'll show you right now. Okay, Joey.
Yeah.
I will say there was also a moment where they approached the dance floor the second time when Monica is like, listen, it's our wedding and I want to dance with my husband, right? And Chandler kind of slides up to the dance floor, both feet, just kind of like hovers over there. And if you notice, he does that on the carpet. So I don't know what he's got on his shoes that make him like slide across all surfaces, but it was not just the dance floor he was sliding across. He was sliding across everything, which makes me wonder how he was able to dance in the hallway too. It's very confusing.
It's very strange. And listen, I think my favorite part of this whole storyline was
the fact that Jack Geller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
I knew it.
Is that Monica tells him that he should just dance without moving your feet. And so he starts moving his arms around erratically. Of course, Jack Geller shows up and he's like, hey, we have the same moves. And they're dancing the same way. It's just insane. I don't know. I just love a good, ridiculous Jack Geller moment. Stealing the show again this episode. Way to go, Jack.
I mean, listen, it was a good moment. It was a good moment. It's not stealing the show. But that being said, let's move on to Joey with his director. And, it's funny because he's now changed into a tennis instructor outfit because that's what they had in the gift shop. And Monica is going to ignore him completely. And of course, he's now giving tennis instructions to some girl that he's found at the dance floor, only to overhear Chandler being introduced to his mom's new boyfriend. And this guy is apparently a Broadway director. At which point, Joey essentially drops the other girl and immediately introduces himself and compliments the director, and is now spending the rest of the wedding trying to figure out how he can impress the director, of which he decides, hey, let's use the best man speech to showcase all my talents.
Yes. Oh, that was for me?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
It was not a great
awkward
moment for Joey. Not a good Joey moment.
No. Joey is trying way too hard here. I mean, Joey, you've been starring in a movie. Come on. You don't need to stoop down this low. Like, this is ridiculous. This is not good.
Also, like, he references, I'll have done TV, then I'll do movie, and I'm doing a movie, then I'll have done theater. I'll have done them all. You've done theater multiple times, Joey.
Theater. Yes, we've seen it. Come on, Joey. We all remember when you were in that Freudian play. And,
don't you remember getting on the spaceship to Blargon 7? That was theater.
That one, too. There's been multiple. We've seen Joey in multiple stage performances. Yeah, this, it's a bit awkward. I was just looking up. I'm like, I recognize that actor too. His name is Jim Piddock. He was on like all of the Christopher Guest movies with like Catherine O'Hara and that whole gang. Yeah. And he's kind of like wrapped up with that crew. But so it was kind of cool that they brought him in for this. But it's like, oh my God, that was for my benefit. Like, that's what he's saying to Joey. And he's explaining, like, listen, Joey, that's great that you wanted to be in this, production that I have, but the cast is entirely Chinese. And that's when Joey says, oh, I could be Chinese, and turns his head away. We do not see the result of what he's trying to do with his face, but this guy is trying to like urge him to stop whatever he's doing. Please, for the love of God.
Joey turns around and he reaches his hands for his eyelids, and only one can imagine what Joey's about to try, but they never do showcase it, and I'm so glad that they didn't, because that could have been real bad.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about like Friends, obviously everything that we see on TV is in a time capsule, but even for the times, this was not going to be okay, and we are glad for that, because we were all right there with this producer urging him to stop. It was a large range of emotions that Joey was trying to portray here, and it was not good. So I think I don't really have too much else on this.
Let's move over to Ross and Mona. Okay, Ross meets Mona over by the table cards where he finds her. He flirts poorly, as we know Ross to do, but Ross. He does kind of like rally, and like she shows him her table number, unfortunately upside down, and he then finds somebody else with that same table number and upgrades them to table 1, and he's going to go sit at table number 9. And when he goes over to table number 9, it is the kids table with all the little kids that are there, and Mona is sitting at table 6 with the 9 flipped upside down. He's like, oh, you showed it to me. Okay, just gonna go over here now. At which point, she now knows exactly what he did, and is like, oh no, like, mistakes have been made. So, I do like the fact that they brought in Ben for this, even though Ben had no lines in the version that we saw, although I believe there was an cut out scene that he does have lines in.
Yes.
So there's that. But what was it? We have Ross then approach the dance floor asking Mona to dance, only for one of the little girls to come up and ask, Ross. So he has her get on his feet and they dance, and he's just winning brownie points with Mona, and then the next girl, and then the next girl, and then finally he thinks, okay, we're done, and in comes Gert.
My God, poor Gert. Of course he had to name her Gert. Like, this is just, this poor child is much larger than any of the other children. And you're not going fast enough. Maybe I should stand on your feet. Oh, Ross.
Oh,
Ross. I mean, this is awkward.
It is just awkward, but it was crazy too, because all the other girls came up and it was like a slower song. And now this girl comes up and it's like a fast-paced moving song. And so Ross tries to sell it as just like, no, this is like a different type of music. Like, no, okay, hop on, Gert. And yeah, it's not going well.
It's okay. This whole scene though with the other little girl, I think it was before the Gert moment, and Mona looks over and she's like, I get to hop on next, right? And then Ross says to this little girl, he
says it to himself.
But he's saying it out loud. I am so gonna score, while he's like dancing with this child, and she's like, what? He's like, oh, I like your bow.
I like your bow.
Oh my, wow. Ross, you are just wild.
But I'll tell you what, this sequence between Ross and Mona at the table, assignments, and then here with all the dancing with the girls, it is easily light years better than anything that Joey and Chandler are doing.
Yeah, it is definitely way funnier. I would say, I mean, it's the funniest moment of this episode, or the funniest like storyline for sure. I mean, to me, it's also the most memorable. I think that
it's not the most memorable. That's not the most memorable, because we're about to get into like the whole bathroom sequence with Phoebe
you're right.
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, well, we are introduced to Mona, who ends up being with us for a little while, who ends up really being, I know a lot of the Friends fanatics out there, myself included, feel like Mona, like, this girl had it rough the whole time from the beginning. Well, it's like, poor Mona, she was never did anything wrong. I mean,
there's also a sequence later where one of them is like, I think it's Monica, is like calling out all the exes and calls out Mona, and Ross even looks as like, what was wrong with Mona? And it's like, nothing. Yes. Nothing was wrong with Mona. Mona's great.
No.
We like Mona.
Except Mona had like, I think, all the red flags from the beginning with Ross and just chose to ignore them. Maybe that's Mona's only fault, is that it's like, Mona, girl.
That's a red flag for Mona. Like, ignores red flags.
But what I was going to say is that there was a moment that we mentioned from the last episode, because I was thinking it was a deleted scene from the end of season 7, but it was really this one where Chandler was struggling to dance and he like stepped on Judy Geller's dress and her whole skirt ripped off, but we didn't get to actually see that. If you guys were also watching like the TV versions, it was cut out of that, and I feel like that was probably the funniest moment of the whole show.
It was the payoff for that storyline. Yeah. Instead, they they stopped it with Jack Geller, like, "Hey, you stole my moves," and that kind of becomes the end of that story. If you keep that deleted scene in, it like ramps it up one more time, and you go back to that story one more time, and maybe it makes a little bit more sense, but we're not really watching those versions. We're watching what everybody sees if you were to stream it now. And it's both that one and the director storyline are just missing something. And maybe that deleted scene would have helped.
But you're right, though. The most memorable portion of this episode is obviously the whole like figuring out like Rachel is pregnant. Well, the girls find out that Rachel is pregnant.
Well, let's start this by just going back to the photo shoot, because this all starts, in fact, this entire season starts with a scene after the wedding where they're doing their photos. And we have essentially Phoebe saying to Monica, and we heard you're pregnant. And she's like, who's pregnant? I'm not pregnant. And Phoebe then says the statement, well, if you're not pregnant, and then looks over at Rachel, and Rachel kind of shakes her off. And so Phoebe ends up going, it's because I am.
Yes.
At that point, the cat should have been out of the bag, but it wasn't. And we move.
And she also has the line that she says, I didn't want to steal your thunder. And I'm like, you know what? That is actually a viable explanation as to why she wouldn't share that she's pregnant, because that was, my whole like if Rachel really, I mean, she obviously really is the one who's pregnant, but I feel like if it wasn't just for her own reasons, it would also make sense that she didn't want to bring it up on the wedding day, because Monica would be extremely upset about that.
For sure.
And with good reason. Yeah. So I love that Phoebe's like, well, I can't say because he's famous. It's James Brolin.
Right. Immediately gives up on that track and just picks the famous person. Like, Barbra Streisand's husband, James Brolin? Mm-hmm. What? Well, he did not say that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
and we also had the moment where, like, Monica's telling Ross that she isn't pregnant, and she's like, you didn't tell people, did you? And he's like, no, of course not. I'll be right back.
Right. He takes off, and then, of course, they're like, well, let's do a picture with the groom and the bridesmaids. Weird, like, photo opportunity, I suppose. No bride, but the groom and the bridesmaids, okay. And then they're like, how about just the bridesmaids? And Chandler gets to be like, I think I'm supposed to be in a lot of this. Just get out of here. This is how they kind of explain away a very quick Phoebe and Rachel moment in front of the photographer. And so, that's where we get
Rachel
Phoebe admitting, or Rachel admitting to Phoebe that, yes, it's her. Phoebe,
Is
I
it
guess
Tag?
they're just,
is it Ross? Oh my God, it's Joey.
Well, that's not yet. That's at the table. But here they're talking about, like, oh, by the way, James Brolin. I know, and they're going through all the different celebrities that they were going to pick, or she almost picked, but that's the only name that could pop into her head. But they do. They go back to this table now, and they're at the reception. Just as Amanda, you're saying, Phoebe is just interrogating Rachel on who the father is. Is it Ross? Yes. Is it Tag? Is it the tall guy from downstairs?
Right. Yes. I mean, but then Eric, I totally forgot about Monica saying to Rachel, like, it was so harsh. She's like talking about Phoebe being pregnant. Yeah. She's like, in this day and age, how dumb do you have to be to get pregnant? I'm like, wow, Monica, wow. Like, and this like for Rachel to be sitting through hearing this is just brutal. I mean, my goodness, you'd think that she would have even apologized or something after she found out that it was Rachel. But
she didn't actively apologize for anything, but she did immediately pivot, and try to be as helpful as possible. And that's when Phoebe says, well, maybe it's not, maybe it's a false positive. And Monica says, hey, for my wedding present, you can take another pregnancy test. We can find out right now. And so Phoebe runs to get one, and they decide, okay, that's what I'm going to tell. That's the wedding present, only for Monica to be like, oh, wait, who's the father? Oh, she's not telling. Wait, that could be my wedding present. Who's the father? He's like, I just gave you peeing on a stick, which is one of my favorite lines in this whole episode. And I know I kind of like blitzed through that sequence, but I could never bounce all three of them fast enough the way that they did it. It was great.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. And I mean, I do have to say, the whole like Monica finding out because Rachel like kept accidentally going to drink champagne and then having to spit it back out. I'm thinking, Rachel, just put the glass down. Just, I don't know. It was like,
no, that's how the French drink it.
Yes. Just put the glass down. I don't know. It's interesting. I like, though, that they ripped off the Band-Aid with that and they didn't drag this out for too long, having like no one else know about the pregnancy, and Monica's just finding out about it right there on the spot. And yeah, I mean, that would be Monica's style, is to find out who the father is for her wedding present. I can see that being pretty like true to character. But yeah, I love Phoebe's move here. I mean, this, I guess, is the most memorable moment of this episode, where she is telling Rachel that it's negative, and Rachel being upset about that. Well, that is a risky little game, is what she says. And it is.
I feel like Rachel, or Jennifer Aniston rather, did a really good job of walking through the emotional like chain here. Yeah. To eventually get to, really, it's negative? Like, to be like, oh, okay. And she's okay with it, and then she's kind of like, oh, I was kind of hoping for it to be positive, and then just walks through that, and you just see it all on her face, and with like some, physical movements, and just like small words, and it really helps sell it. And Monica and Phoebe don't say anything, and they just let her go through this emotional roller coaster, only for her to then ask the question, are you okay? Like, are you sure it's negative? And Phoebe's like, no, it's positive.
Yes.
What?
I lied before.
Are you sure? Yeah, I lied the first time. Like, what? And by the way, do not play that game with your friends.
Do not play this game.
Because more often than not, I think that game's going the other direction. Unless you know.
That is...
that's a crazy game to play.
That is more than a little risky. I mean, Phoebe likes to play these risky games, as we've seen in the past. The word association game. Although that one, okay, just give that one a shot. I think you'll be okay. But this game with the pregnancy...
This is not a game to play. The word association game is fine.
Well, she says you're not supposed to play that without my supervision.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. You can play that one. Just don't do it on a bridge.
Well, I know. Yeah, yes. But I like that we find out here that Rachel's, excited about it, and, then they have their moment together with the girls, and but yeah, she still does not want to tell anyone who the father is, so they roll that out. And Eric, in my mind, I actually thought that this sweater episode, I don't know why I thought there was like another episode even in between these. I felt like it was a secret for even longer, but here we are, because the next episode is the one with the red sweater.
Well, it is a quick rollout here. And I think that just goes to the idea that, okay, we're going to have a cliffhanger. Okay, it is Rachel, and she is in fact pregnant, but she's not going to tell. It's not time yet. And so now we have this one with the red sweater where we're going to rule out one and identify who the father is, all very quickly. And you're right, it does feel like this usually takes longer to get to. But
in true Friends form, she doesn't know that they know.
Right now, where we've left it, she does not know. But let's I guess let's just get into episode 2. This will be season 8, episode 2, the one with the red sweater. And in this episode, we are really just going to break this down into 2 storylines. We have, obviously, the search for the father and who the father actually is or is not. And we also have Chandler and Ross being assigned to get all the disposable cameras and get the pictures from them so that they can look at them. And while they're doing that, Monica is going to wait to open all the presents. And that's the one we're going to start with. Amanda, do you have any thoughts on this disposable camera storyline?
I mean, I just think it's hilarious and insane that Ross thinks that just putting on their tuxedos and snapping a few photos with like a different wedding reception will somehow pass his sister's sniff test. Like,
yeah, I'm thinking to myself, how many pictures are you taking? And they're all going to be just of you and Chandler.
Monica won't be in any of the wedding photos.
And like, it was incredibly fortunate that the bride at this wedding had a similar hair color and hair length. But listen, all of the scrambling to get photos, there are two moments that stand out to me. Well, there's three. One, we get the moment at the beginning where they're in the lobby. And of course, Ross is unwilling to check out of the hotel room.
This is a defining characteristic of Ross, we find out. Yes.
And then we also have Joey talking to the front desk saying, I was told the name of the movie would not be on the bill, as he has apparently charged movies to all of his friends, but watched them in his own room.
Yeah. And we have the Meshuggah nuts debate, which
we do.
Eric, I looked up. I didn't know if Meshuggah nuts were like a real snack. I've never had them myself. They are real. And apparently, according to Google, they are dangerously addictive. Made by coating nuts in sweetened egg white meringue and dusted with spices before baking them until crispy. Have you ever had these? I didn't know if it was like a made up thing on Friends. That's why I looked it up. I'm like, what is a Meshuggah nut? Okay,
I assumed it was a real thing.
Yeah.
I have not had a Meshuggah nut. That being said, I have had like a number of different snacks that have been coated in things and like put spices on. So maybe I have, and I just didn't know that that's what it was called.
But I think and this sounds like it's an actual brand. So instead of like Diamond, which is a lot of the almonds with the seasoning on it and whatever, that this is like an actual brand. And I guess the word Meshuggah is Yiddish for crazy too. So
well, there you go. Okay. Hey. Well, I didn't know anything about that, but I'm apparently Joey's got him, and he's all about it.
They are all about these Meshuggah nuts, but Eric, I don't know what the points were. So you said you had 3 points.
So that was one. I do like that section. The second point being, I really like that they did. I felt like they got the best picture of Ross giving the speech, like where he like faked giving a speech, and then of course everyone's clinking their glasses together, which to me at a wedding has always meant like the bride and groom are going to kiss, not that some guy is going to give a speech.
Yes.
But that being said, he gets up there and then they're all clinking their glasses with the anticipation of a speech, only for him to then mention that if you have a 1995 LeSabre in the parking lot, it's about to be towed. And some guy runs up to him. He's like, do you have a blue LeSabre? Yes, a green LeSabre? Yes, a blue-green LeSabre. Well, then go.
Yes, go get it. It's about to be towed. Yeah.
I mean, that always makes me laugh a little bit. I don't know why. It's small. It doesn't mean anything to anybody, but I do like the fact that Ross gets put on the spot and comes up with that line, which is something that, you just hear at these things. And then I love the kiss with the girl and scramble.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Get ready to run. He's like, hey, congratulations on your wedding. And then he kisses her. Chandler kisses this girl with the face away from the camera. Ross gets the picture and the two of them bolt. And I agree with you, though. How is this going to get past Monica's, like, sniff test. You're going to get 7 pictures when you have 40 cameras there. No.
Makes zero sense. I mean, I also really appreciated the line earlier on when Ross is saying, do you really want to start your marriage by letting her down? Chandler just looks at him and is like, marriage advice? Really?
Yeah.
And we're all thinking the same thing. And this is your advice, Ross? Like, Chandler, you should have known better, buddy. I mean, and also the line earlier when Ross is saying, listen, you guys got married. Why is she so depressed? All of my energy is going into not asking that question. And I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
My goodness. Her running around just saying that she's super depressed and just being like really down. Monica, pull yourself together, girl.
Listen, she snaps out of it quickly.
She does.
I think it's also just like that the morning after we're now driving home and now I'm just a married lady as opposed to, a future bride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's good though that, listen, he faked the picture ordeal, brought it home. She's obviously looking through them and within 2 seconds knows that these are not her photos. And like, there's a picture of his first kiss with some lady. Right.
This is my first kiss with this lady, which based on your face, you're not going to need to have a picture to remember as he tears it up into 5 or 6 pieces. Yeah.
But the way that they resolve this so quickly, because he looks over and sees that Monica has opened up all the presents without him. And Monica's like, well, yeah, but you kissed another woman. Call it even. And I'm thinking, wow, Monica, that is extremely flexible of you. Like, this is,
well, listen,
to put those two things on the same par. Okay.
I don't know that the two things are on the same par, but it's also, it is far from, like, I would not call what Chandler did cheating on Monica.
No.
So therefore it probably is on about the same par. Like, this was a grab and go for a photo trying to trick Monica. So you tried to trick me, but I did the thing that we were supposed to do together. High five and move out and like call it a day. And to me, that's a good sign. Like, that's how you know that these guys are going to work it out, because they are going to be able to let little things go and move on about their day together. And it shows I feel like that moment actually shows a level of maturity from both Chandler and Monica to be able to drop the emotions about the other person's flaw and just, okay, we're good here. Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it could have, that would have turned into a massive fight 5 seasons ago.
Yeah. I think that there is some debate, though, where I've seen people talking about, like, listen, Monica also didn't continue to bring up, wait, you ran off before our wedding, and now he's covering this up by, like, kissing this random lady instead of just saying, like, I don't know where the cameras are. So I think there's been some, like, debate online just about people saying, like, would Monica really be this, like
I think there's
this
way
relaxed
more
about all this.
I think there's way more. I haven't seen this, so I'm just speculating on my own here. I think there is way more argument, a lot more teeth to the complaint about how should she not have brought up him running away.
Yeah,
and I think in my eyes, I will kind of say, I think he won back a lot of points with his vows. And then I would also argue that would not be a conversation that they would have out in public. And now, of course, we're privy to seeing some private conversations throughout the show.
Sure.
But it's unnecessary for us to see them resolve that. We see that it's like, we see they're moving on. Like, we're good.
Yeah, I think they just did not want to start their marriage on like a tense note. Like they don't want to then like, okay, they got married and now they're like in this argument. Like that wasn't how they wanted their relationship to like unfold for the Friends audience, you know? So the whole idea is that they're moving past it.
And like I said, it's at the vows. Like Monica says, essentially, her whole vows with the then, unless you don't want to, you go. Right?
Yes,
and
you go.
That's all laid out there. And then Chandler like shakes off the cards, speaks from the heart, gives incredibly passionate vows, wins Monica back over in the moment. And I think at that moment, we're good here.
Yeah.
Like it's all done right in that moment. And so I've never thought twice about that. But I can understand how people would like be upset about it. But people would not be upset. People would be questioning why she's not questioning him more. I don't know. To me, that's pretty small potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, and then we have the whole pregnancy reveal of this episode.
Well, this is a much bigger thing. This is a much bigger story. And so where do we start here? Let's start with... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say Rachel says she's going to tell the father today. So that's kind of how we open up to that storyline.
Where then Phoebe is saying like, wow, this guy's just walking around town going, well, I'm awesome. I just slept with Rachel Green, blah, blah, blah. And then bam, father.
Phoebe. Oh my God, Phoebe.
Okay, well, maybe something else. And then bam, what's that bam? He gets hit by a truck. Like, what?
Girl.
But listen, the idea that Rachel doesn't think this is going to be big news.
I know. It's just...
First of all, this all helps, I think, give the implication that it's anybody but Ross. Because if you know that it's Ross on the other end and you're going to walk up to this guy and say, hey, listen, you don't have to do anything, but you're going to be around me forever. And we're going to, I mean, what are we even talking about right now?
What?
How could you think this wouldn't be massive for him?
This makes no sense when you find out that it's Ross. It's like leading up to it. I feel like this is just intentionally misleading for the viewer, right?
100%. Yes, it's just like putting some doubt in your mind that it is not Ross. It could be anybody. And that maybe they're going to introduce a new character this way. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that would have been horrible. Like a horrible way to start that.
And yeah, for her to say to Phoebe, well, I never really thought about this being a big deal for him. It's like, even no matter who it is, Rachel, what are you thinking? I don't know. This really makes me question, like, I don't know. This whole storyline, it's a little weird. Also, I have to say, Eric, like, the whole Rachel having a baby storyline in Friends has always bothered me a little bit anyway, because when you really think about Friends, do you really think about Rachel with a child ever? Like,
no.
You hardly see it. After she's pregnant, it's kind of like, oh wait, did that happen? Like, did Rachel have a baby? I don't know. It's very strange. They weave it in at different points.
The baby's not invisible. But there are definitely stretches where it's like, aren't you supposed to have a child you're taking care of? Like, where is that?
Yeah.
But Ross, of course, doesn't see Ben very often. I think we only see.
It's true.
So again, you have to think of Friends as snapshots into these people's lives and not all the time how it would be. But I do agree with you.
Like, there's like the Carol and Susan of it all with Ross, where it's like, well, they're not main characters, so like you can explain that away. Ben is off with his moms, you know what I mean? Whereas here it's like, well, there's Ross and there's Rachel, and like,
and if they're together and there's no baby and you don't have a babysitter, which they do a whole thing about getting like a nanny to help watch, which is helpful because that then allows for things like that.
They work it into the storyline.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit like it's different. But yeah. I think, Eric, my favorite the moments of this episode though are with Joey.
Oh, interesting.
Where Joey is proposing to Phoebe.
Yes.
Because Phoebe is telling him that she's the one who's pregnant, and Monica's like, oh my God. And Monica steps in and ruins this moment for Phoebe because Phoebe's putting on the ring. She's saying, yes, she's kissing Joey. I'm like, wow.
And remember when Joey walked in and was like, oh, is there somebody pregnant in here? Because they were asking him how he would react. And Phoebe's like, oh, yeah, that's me. Like, why? Why are we hiding this from Joey now? Like, it's out. Like, why? Like,
I know.
Misdirect for no good reason. Just say it's
for
Rachel.
These funny moments. Yeah.
I know.
Just for the proposal moments. I should have never walked into that sunglass hut.
Did you sound blonde? But yeah, so listen, he gets to propose to Phoebe. Phoebe accepts the proposal. Oh, and then Monica breaks the whole thing up and says something along the lines of, hey, don't you think he would have noticed 9 months from now when you weren't pregnant? And she's like, it's Joey. Yes. Joey turns and
Joey's standing
he's
there.
Like, hey. And she looks at him and is like, and mouths like, I love you. And he's like, okay.
Oh my gosh. He's a simple guy.
I mean, it is, it's interesting because then really the best one is when he does find out that it is in fact Rachel, and Rachel shows up and he proposes then to Rachel.
The same lines.
The way Phoebe reacts to that is amazing.
Yeah.
Her just like, hey, like, what? This is not okay. This is mine.
I cannot say that didn't hurt.
No. I will take you back, Joey Tribbiani. See, they're all very flexible with these things.
Mm-hmm. But anyway. This isn't Joey's first time, proposing, saying that he would take care of the women, because he had done this before with Rachel. Hadn't he like offered to take care of them at other points? Like, wasn't there something that happened earlier? Am I totally misremembering this?
I think you are thinking about the future. Because I'm racking my brain real quick. I don't think that has transpired. I think you're thinking about when Joey is living with Rachel and Emma down the line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that might have been it. I just thought that there was something that already happened where Joey had offered to
I don't think there's much of a doubt. In fact, on a rewatch, what I would argue is Joey is the best friend. Not necessarily the best character, but he is the best friend to all of them. Mm-hmm. He hooks all of them up regularly, and I know he's also the one who doesn't want to change anything, and that will be a big deal as we move forward. But he is certainly one who wants to help out all of them, and if they are struggling, if there is a time of need for something for them, he's going to be the one to try and solve it and fix it and make it better. That is what he wants to do, and that just makes his character awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I just looked that up. I don't know. I'm just misremembering that completely. Sorry, guys. Joey only proposes to Phoebe once. I don't know why I thought that happened multiple times. But
no, but there is a moment, I think, where they do. Was it at the end? Where was it? It's the end of the episode that Joey is saying to Phoebe, or is this maybe this is the beginning of the next episode, and it came on and I was watching it already, where it's hey, Monica and Chandler are married, and Rachel's having a baby, and maybe you and I should do something to Phoebe. She's like, in good time. I think that might be the very beginning of the next episode.
And you know what I think I'm also thinking of? I'm just conflating the two, is that when Joey is when he sees that Chandler and Monica are super happy together and he's wanting to be in a relationship and first goes to, but it's the reverse. He first goes to Rachel and she's like, well, if I'm the first one that you saw.
Oh, yes, that also did happen.
Hitting on her and then he hits on Phoebe. So I think that's really what I'm also, just thinking of that situation because Phoebe's like all about it in that scene too. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, but then she's upset that she wasn't the one that he saw first.
We do move past Joey's proposals into a moment where Joey is essentially like, oh, maybe it was that dude. They're having a conversation. Yes. Who the husband, not the husband, who the father could be. And it's Monica and Phoebe and Joey having this conversation. And he's like, I don't know. It was like a month ago that he was over and then he just walks off. He walks into the apartment. And he comes back as the girls follow him into the hallway between the apartments. He's like, you left this sweater, though. And then Phoebe grabs the sweater like, oh, my God, I know who the father is. And then walks into Monica's apartment, only for Monica to say, people have got to start finishing their sentences.
Yes.
Because everybody's finishing mid-sentence and then leaving the group. And this is when we get Phoebe arranging for Tag to meet Rachel at Central Perk because it's his sweater.
Crossing a line. Like the idea that Rachel has said in no uncertain terms that she needs to take her time, like she wants to tell the father when she's ready, and then Phoebe's like, so I've invited him here. I mean, she does say to her, you can either, rip off the Band-Aid or leave, like
but he's right there.
But I'm like, Phoebe, like I don't know. This is very over the line for Phoebe, but hey.
It's over the line for sure. Yeah. But to Rachel's credit, she has the opportunity to just walk on and not do anything, and she's like, no, that's all right. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. Let's rip it off.
Yeah.
And so she goes into the coffee shop and she sees Tag sitting there, and it like cuts to commercial. But then they come back and it is
Tag is wearing the exact sweater that day.
Yeah, Phoebe walks up and she's like, and I believe this is your sweater. And he's like, no, this is my sweater. And he's already got it on. And so, you hear the crowd reaction, right? People don't want it to be Tag. They were so happy that it wasn't Tag.
That would not have been good. Yeah, no, we don't want that.
Everybody wants it to be Ross. Mm-hmm. There's nobody that doesn't want it to be Ross at this point. And so knowing that it's not Tag has almost paved the way. Like, who else could it possibly be?
Well, and it solidifies that it's not right with Tag because when she tells him that she's having a baby, he immediately like drops her hand. Like it isn't like, oh my God. She's like, you can go now.
You can go now. Okay.
Wow.
Because he took the moment though to try and be like, hey, I am getting more mature now. I do want to do like a long relationship. Sure. But listen, to be fair to Tag, okay, there's a big difference between wanting to start a more serious relationship and move through the process together as opposed to getting into a relationship with someone who already has kids or is having a kid. That is with very
another guy.
Different scenario. And Tag is like, you know what? Think we're good here. And he just is gone. And that is the last we see of Tag. There's a tag-shaped hole in that door.
There is a brief moment at the end of this episode, but this is the final episode.
Oh, yeah.
That we see with Tag. Yes. I know. Then we do get Ross seeing Tag wearing the sweater in the street, saying, what is it that he's like, oh, that's crazy about Rachel.
Huh? Yeah.
And he's
like, oh yeah, she's a crazy lady. Like, Ross, what are you even talking about?
And he's like, well, whose is it? He's like, oh, I think it's some Italian guy because he thinks he's talking about like who made the sweater, I guess. And read your own label.
Then he walks off. That guy's so weird. And if I'm Tag, I'm like, what is that guy even talking about?
I know.
But whatever.
Yeah. Earlier, though, we have the moment in the apartment where Ross sees his sweater sitting in Monica's apartment. And he's like, oh, I've been looking for this for like a month. And I love we have the classic Joey like taking another like 10 seconds to catch up.
Well, because he grabs the sweater, walks out. Monica and Phoebe in sync. Oh my God. Camera to Joey. Nothing. Eyes get real wide. Oh my God. And it's like, yeah, that is the moment. And so like, I know we started this whole podcast talking about how you felt about these episodes and that these were maybe not your favorites. But between that moment, the Ross grabbing the sweater and walking out the door moment.
It's true.
And
it's a
Phoebe
great moment.
Playing that dangerous game with the pregnancy test in the bathroom. These are huge, big moments that I think are nostalgic. And
it's
I
true.
think those are the things that lead up to making you think that it took longer to get to this moment.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think certain things just don't grab me as much on the rewatch is really what I was trying to articulate. But they are still, classic Friends episodes. We need these moments to get to where we're going to be going. And I love that, I feel like the show does a great job of naturally evolving into this next phase of their lives. And we get to see like how each one of them rolls into that.
All right, well, now we're going to jump into our IMDb segment of this podcast where we talk about our ratings against your ratings as we find them on IMDb. Not to mention, we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite characters of this episode. Amanda, why don't you go ahead and start first with either your favorite or least favorite character?
Okay. So I will say that I know oftentimes I'll pick like who I think is the funniest in the episodes because I just love those super silly moments. But I went with Rachel for these episodes because I just feel like Jennifer Aniston did such a great job acting through these scenes. I know, Eric, you pointed out the moments with her in the bathroom where Phoebe kind of tricks her and says that she's not pregnant, and then she confirms that she really is. And I just love that range of emotions that she goes through. And in the next episode, just the whole chaos of her conversations with Phoebe and then, talking with Tag. You just also, I feel like, see her character despite the whole not realizing that the father will think that this is a big deal scene. I do also feel like you see her character truly grow in these episodes, and you are seeing like it's kind of the new Rachel that's going to be evolving in the final seasons of Friends, right? So
I agree. And I do like our like last few seasons of Rachel. I know we talked about how like, oh, she has a baby, but then like, where's the baby? I think there's a different level of Rachel where the Rachel I hate seeing is the one who's like throwing herself at Joshua and Tag and offices and things like that. And it's like that Rachel bothers me. This Rachel going forward will now have a baby and is a more mature version of Rachel. And I like this Rachel. Yeah. My favorite, I'm going to go with Phoebe. And it was a little difficult to pick between a couple people. I wanted to kind of pick Monica at one point. I felt like Joey definitely had moments. I felt Ross had moments. But I'm going to go with Phoebe because I really like not only Phoebe's moment in the bathroom where she rolls the dice on that game, but she is also the one carrying the story between like being pregnant from James Brolin and having to having to carry the secret, having to keep going with that. And then like in the next episode, it's all about, oh, I figured it out. I've got the sweater. She's being proposed to. Then she's like reacting to Joey proposing to somebody else. And she's the one setting it up with Tag outside
She kind of
Central
carries
Perk.
these episodes
Like,
a little bit.
she does a lot of heavy lifting here,
Yeah.
and I don't always give Phoebe the credit she deserves, so I want to give it to her here where she is doing a lot of the lifting. And if you can't tell, because I just name-checked a bunch of people, that does mean I've got Chandler as my least favorite character.
Yeah.
And it's not really for Chandler's fault. It's the things that they had him involved with were just very secondary or third or fourth dairy to the, story, you know, like but they were so far away. They were so far away from the core of the story. In fact, I think we get to a point next episode where Chandler thinks that Phoebe is still pregnant. He knows it's not Monica, so he thinks it's Phoebe, but we never even see him find out that Phoebe is pregnant.
No.
Like, we're just assuming that he knows it's Rachel, and he doesn't know any of it. So I think he has this moment where he has like a meltdown moment coming up here where it's like, what? Why is my voice so high? If I remember it correctly.
Yes. Why am I talking like this?
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, he seems so far removed. I picked him too, Eric, and I feel like I think I also picked him for our last episodes. And it's like, I love Chandler Bing, but he's been, I feel like, a little bit removed from the main chaos of the storylines.
Shocking, considering it's his wedding.
It's his wedding, so it's very strange.
That's never about the groom. It's never about the groom.
Yeah. Well, we also didn't mention it, but when they were looking for the cameras, he was looking under one of the tables. And I'm like, Chandler, buddy.
That's one of his best lines, by the way, where Ross is like, did you find him? He's like, yeah, that's why I'm under here, celebrating.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like, Chandler, that is not where they're going to be. And I mean, they were with their things the whole time. If you didn't, I don't think we touched on that. Like, where were the cameras? Oh, they were like with their stuff back at the house. Monica had them.
Yes. We didn't mention that necessarily.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, listen, I know that we're going to have some better moments coming up with Chandler in the next episodes, but here he just wasn't featured as much. So maybe that is
he really wasn't. It is true to form. It's the wedding. It's not about the groom. The groom's off doing whatever. The bride is apparently figuring out who's the father of a pregnancy test.
Well, yeah. And so, Eric, which episode did you like more?
Okay, I like the second one more. I'm not even going to try to hide it. It's the one with the red sweater is a better episode.
It is.
I just think sometimes the season openers, I'm not going to equate it to some of the other ones. I don't love when the friends open their season away from home.
Me either. Yeah.
And so,
I kind of wish they had just jumped right back to the apartment.
Like, I don't mind them necessarily ending there sometimes, but like, they end at the beach, they end in Vegas, they end in London, they end at the wedding. And when they arrive, when it starts the season back up, we have to like go through this awkward stretch of waiting for them to get back home.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the first episode is never quite as funny as I want it to be. Not only are we really learning what storylines we're going to be looking at this season, but we're also not in a place that feels like Friends. And so the second episode, we are immediately snapped right back to the apartment, and the sequencing there from Joey figuring out that one of the girls is pregnant, the fake engagements, the learning about the sweater, the bringing Tag in, all of that, all the way leading to Ross picking up the sweater at the end, is great. Love it. I really do like that storyline quite a bit. The Ross and Chandler searching for cameras, it's not great, but it's certainly better than some of the other bad storylines we've seen in the past. So I'm actually going to give this an 8.9. I had it as an 8.8. I'm moving it up a little because I think that Ross moment is great. And so I'm going to give it a high 8. And then the other one, the end of the first one back, the one after I do. That one I will give an 8.5 to. Okay. I think the Phoebe, if they didn't do the bathroom scene, I mean, I might not even give it an 8.
Yeah.
But that scene and the sequence with the girls at the table, at the reception, that is really good. And all the other stuff that's happening around it is mediocre, except for Mona. Mona's good too. So it's solid. I wish Chandler and Joey did better things, because I feel like if they had better storylines, or if Joey had done something different with the director and Chandler had, I don't know, had something else funny to deal with.
Yeah.
I still feel like you should have done more with Chandler and his dad.
Yeah.
Although his dad was not featured in this episode.
No, his
that parent was missing. And so I assume there was an actor situation with that one.
Yeah, I just really, really wish. I'm wondering why they didn't just end the wedding ceremony, the reception, and everything at the end of season 7. Like, this just feels super awkward. And I always, in my mind, kind of forget that this isn't just all rolled into the end of season 7 and then it goes into season 8. I feel like it's strange. Like you just pointed out, like, we usually, like, we end the season maybe in a different location, but then we're home, you know?
Well, but we also ended this. But they ended season 7 on a quote cliffhanger. And so they got an entire summer of everybody being like, who's the father of Rachel's baby? Is it Ross?
Right.
Is it Tag? Is it somebody else? Like, who else could it be? And
I feel like they could have somehow worked that into, like, if they wanted to have reception scenes, they could have somehow worked that into the reception, right? Like that becoming this tense moment and having all of this sort of rolled into just, okay, now that's the end of the wedding. So I don't know. I struggled with this episode.
I'll speak out of both sides of my mouth here, because I don't love the fact that they start a season away from home. I don't like that. But I'm also glad that they showed us different components of the wedding, including not just the ceremony, but the reception, and also in the hotel afterwards as they're leaving to go home. Like, it makes it feel like you were there. That being said, none of the scenes that took place in these places were exceptionally great. And I feel like they either could have done more with them, or just, I don't know, or move through them more quickly.
Maybe it's almost like if they had just stacked, like we've seen other seasons where they have 25 episodes, right? So it's almost like if they had just kept this at the end, I just feel like it could have, we could have bookmarked, like, and said, okay, this is kind of the end of their wedding story. I mean, they even had the episodes titled, the one with Monica and Chandler's wedding part 1 and part 2. And then we're like, I mean, we're
this is really part 3.
Yeah, so this is still like the wedding. It's a reception, but it's still the wedding. And so, I don't know. So there were too many throwaway storylines in this episode for me. I gave it a 7.8. Not a fan.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I don't, it's like, it's not this horrible episode, because again, I loved Jennifer Aniston in this episode, but the rest, I mean, even the Ross stuff, and you guys know how I love some Ross chaos, and I do enjoy it. There are so many funny moments that play out between him and Mona, but this whole...
And him and the girls. The little girls are fun too.
Yes, and there were definitely funny moments for sure, but it was just so brief that it didn't really warrant a whole episode. Like, I feel like that could have just been rolled into the end of the last season, and then we could have started out with this, sweater episode, which I feel like was just a lot stronger. And I gave that one an 8.4. So neither of these were, on the top of my list, but
that's a mistake.
Yeah,
I think that's a mistake.
How I feel. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like this a lot more. And I'm sure, listen, in the moment, I feel like when I first saw this, I feel like I would have rated it a lot higher, but I'm
finding the red sweater and Joey's reaction of the slow, like, oh my God, that is still like what I mean. They meme that that moment forever. Like that is on. That's true. I can't even see how often I see that on a daily, not a daily basis, but weekly basis. Okay. So 7.8 and 8.4 for you.
Yes.
8.5 and 8.9 for me. I definitely like them more than you did. To be honest, I was a little surprised I got that high with the second one, but it was only 2 storylines. Like if there had been a third storyline dragging them down, I think I would have been a little bit harsher on it. And the camera collection wasn't that bad. Anyway. Okay, here we are. The lower rated episode is the first one. Okay. I think we both knew that. I think that was obvious. You gave it a 7.8. I give it an 8.5. IMDb comes in at an 8.6.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's actually so much higher than a lot of the episodes last season.
I'm surprised. And I'm actually very happy about that from the people, because that makes me feel like this season is going to be incredible as far as the IMDb ratings, because typically first episodes of each season do not rate that high with the people.
They haven't been super high. And remember, last season, we only got one episode by IMDb rated in the 9s, and it was the finale.
So that's pretty cool.
And here we are, second episode in, Amanda 8.4, Eric 8.9, and the IMDb crowd 9 flat.
Wow. Okay.
Telling you, the reveal of Ross is big. It's just a notable moment.
It's true. And again, I think this is just my, weathered experience of seeing Friends so many times. I think certain things just don't land the same after so many rewatches. So
I don't blame you. You're not wrong, but I will say that I think both of these episodes have some nostalgic moments that hold them up.
Yeah.
Although 8.6 for the first one is just a solid Friends episode. That's nothing special, but a 9 for the second one. It's that moment of Ross grabbing the sweater and Joey having that moment. Like that's what does it. That puts it over. Enough people liked it, but that's pretty impressive for it to get to a 9. I would not have expected that. I thought I would be above the crowd.
Hey, like to hear it.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check out our socials, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe, follow, like, repost, do all the fun things that you like to do on social media. We really appreciate all the support that we are starting to see there. Also, again, if you could leave us a 5-star rating on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that'd be great. You can find us at our Patreon at We Run on Reruns. And for Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching episodes 3 and 4 of season 8 of Friends for next week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.